This is KENI in Anchorage, Alaska. And due to circumstances beyond our control, Jerry Valley will bring you the Coke Show tonight.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't you dare, don't you dare.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Why not?
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! This song goes out to Mary, dedicated from Jack.
Hey, are you trying to tell me something? Turn it up, turn it up. I like it.
Had a fight, and he would like her back. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
I really think you're trying to tell me something there, Chuck. I don't know just what it is, but I think that we have something in store. Somebody has something in store for me. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I know it. All right, kill it already. Go ahead, do it. Good man. Anyway, hello there out in the parking lot, and you at home, naturally, from the Bun Drive-In, 601 East Northern Lights Boulevard, the chicken coop here. Ow, right in the ear there, fella. With the bells even. Burgundy Rose night tonight, king of the bands, yes sirree, ha-ha. And they're all shaking each other's hand around here, yes. And
good man, Jerry.
oh yeah, hey, what is this there? Congrats, yes.
Hey, there's somebody.
Hey, there goes somebody.
Hey, that was cool. That's
I don't know.
That's
Is
an
it?
East car.
Oh yes. We might as well tell the world that this evening is, of course, East High's homecoming. Yes, sir. I don't think the caravan is coming through yet. They might, though.
What, is this their homecoming tonight?
Oh, yeah. Sure. See the car there? Yes. Anyway, as we welcome you to the Bun Drive-In for the Bun, naturally, 601 East Northern Lights Boulevard. And, of course, Sears located across the road there on the corner of Seward Highway, Northern Lights Boulevard, in the mall. Open tonight until 9 o'clock. And, of course, your ice-cold Kika refreshments, Coca-Cola. And here to tell us a little something about something that's like Coca-Cola, almost, not Tim Rader. No, the April Fools. Things go better with you. The April Fools, yes.
Things go better with you, baby. Things go better with you, honey. Things go better.
April Fools, things go better with you. Number 26 this week. Brand new top 30 tomorrow evening with little old me, Jerry V. Between 6:30 and 8 o'clock. Naturally, survey countdown night tomorrow. But it's just plain old ordinary Coke show this evening.
You mean ordinary?
Ordinary? It's always ordinary.
No.
Not with you guys around here. I didn't think it was.
It's super.
Oh, really?
Super ordinary.
Super ordinary Coke show. Okay. Anywho, as soon as we get everything fixed here, the microphone and phone on the hook.
Hi there, Albertine.
Hi.
Gee, you sound happy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, huh?
Right.
How are things around west?
Oh, just fine.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
How about some dedications?
Yeah. Okay, Becky, Bill, Sid and Bill, Sue and Betty, Marion Pop, Ed, Roger, Bill, Patty and Bill, Yvonne, HBS, Kurt, John and Henry, Billy John's Band, Fantastic Zoo, Proof, Sandy Rose, and to Anne and her boyfriend, but I can't say it, much less spell it.
Okay. That'll do it for you.
Oh, yes, and to you.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot.
Anytime.
We'll hear from you later then.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
And, flip the switch here.
Hey,
Are you guys
she had
real-
the choice.
What's that? No, she didn't.
Holly Smith had the choice. That's
Well, that's the one we're going to speak to.
Where'd you
Holly.
been? I don't know,
Actually.
that's what I
Well, yeah. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the Coke Show.
Hi, Holly.
Hi.
We'll welcome you to the Coke Show, too, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You're going to Central.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, that's good.
I know.
Alrighty. Anything going on around Central?
Oh, I want to tell everybody the Pep Club's having a car wash Saturday.
Oh, okay, well,
So,
we're not supposed to have any free advertisements.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. How about, what's this? Okay. Hey, Tim Rader's giving us a bad time. What do you think we should do with Tim Rader?
Well, you can keep him.
Oh, gee, thanks. Just what I need. I'll put a leash on him then, okay?
Okay.
All right, how about some dedications?
Okay, to Valentine back there, and he knows who he is. To Burgundy Row, to Sharon, to John, to Cindy, to Wendy, to Pam, to Mary, to Lynn, to Carol, to Diane, to Merle, to Tom, to Pat, to Terry, to everyone at Central, to everyone at our bus stop, to Barbie, to Tina, to Mr. Kretzinger, to Debbie Beck.
5 seconds.
To everyone at East and your homecoming to the Mike next door, to Supernap, so I can't read all of them, to everyone who eats Gumdrop, and to you, Jerry.
Okay, we thank you very much, and everybody at East thanks you, and, oh, who's that?
That's my little horn.
Oh, I see. That's my little horn there. Oh, I think yours is a little bit louder than mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, you had the choice, right?
Yeah,
What'd you want to hear?
Midnight Confession.
Okay, Grassroots Time, number 14. Thanks a lot for calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
In my midnight confession, when I'm telling the world that I love you. In my midnight confession, when I tell the things
It must be Grassroots number 14 this week. It must be. Must it be? 18 minutes now until the hour of 7 p.m. time, in the evening time even, as we welcome you all in the parking lot to the Bun Drive-In, 601 East Northern Lights Boulevard type.
Parking lot.
Yay, parking lot, yes. Without the parking lot, we would have no car hops with which to watch.
Right, no car hops.
Would we? No. I didn't know they embarrassed easily.
Let's hear
They
it for
do.
the car hop.
Yeah.
Car hop.
All right, enough of this foolishness. What are you trying to do? Give this place a bad name.
Yeah.
Ah, hey, no, watch it. They happen to be the sponsors, you know, along with Sears and Coca-Cola. So don't do things like that, man. Shall we hear it for Sears?
Yes. Yay, Sears!
Shall we hear it for Coke?
Yay, Coke!
Wow. All right. What Okay, what does the Burgundy Rose do in their spare time? That is the question of the evening. Hi, Vicki.
Hi.
Do you know what the Burgundy Rose does in their spare time?
No.
They're all song and dance men. That's what they are.
Oh, good. You what happened today in school?
No, what happened today in school? Tell me.
My science teacher bought me lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah?
Uh-oh.
What's
Well,
that?
how about some dedications?
Okay.
All right.
The dog to Judy, to Stanley, oops, Mr. W, and Steph Lou.
Your Yellow Cab Company presents stories and legends of the big country. 100 years of northern history and growth. Brought to you by Yellow Cab, where 5 can ride for the price of 1. In a minute, this is Alaska.
Extra! Read all about it! Yellow Cab solves energy crisis!
Yellow Cab says who said never on Sundays. Yellow Cab says use their gas to and from work, shopping, or wherever, and use your gas for weekend recreation. Yellow Cab says 5 can ride for the price of 1. Yellow Cab says cab it. The gas you save may be your own. Call 272-2422. It's the Yellow Cab formula for relieving gas pain.
There's a yellow cab going your way, 24 hours a day.
For about 70 years, dog mail was familiar in Alaska, and for the first 40 of those years, it was the only system used by the Postal Service. The routes were many during the closing decades of the last century and well into this one. It was commonplace in the old days for the sledges, as they were called, to carry 700 pounds of mail. Sometimes 2 sledges were coupled together with as many as 25 dogs used. A typical route was over the bleak and hazardous trail between Kotzebue and Barrow, 650 miles, where temperatures often reached 60 below. North of the Arctic Circle, mails were often carried all year round over ice. And as late as the 20s, about 75% of the offices in the Alaska interior were not served by railroad and had to be served by men and dogs. It's a unique history worthy of recording and a colorful era for the U.S. mails.
Daily at this time, Yellow Cab presents scenes, legends, and stories of the big country. This is Alaska.
On Friday afternoon, we lost Jim Stevens and Steve Lozansky Friday. Yesterday, we lost Gareth Wright, and so we're down to a field of 20 mushers for the final 25. And very appropriately, as Peter Jacobs hits C Street, he gets the green light from the City of Anchorage Traffic Department.
Dick, we should have some times from Boniface out there, which should be of interest to all of us.
Okay, Evan Swenson, do you have any more times? Checkpoint number 2.
Yes, we have a few more times, Richard. Ramey Reddington came through just a moment ago in 23 minutes and 12 seconds. Big Brother was hot on his trail, however, for the second fastest time at this point of 22 minutes and 52 seconds. Warner Vent, the slowest time so far, 24 minutes flat. And Beatus Moses, we were looking for big things from Beatus, in as much as he had a fast time here yesterday, but he didn't come through for us today. He arrived at this point at 23 minutes and 35 seconds. So the 3 fastest times in their order are Dr. Roland Lombard, Joey Reddington, and Billy Sturdivant at the Boniface Crossing.
All right, we'll be back and continue with more of the coverage of the Fur Rendezvous 1968 World Championship sled dog races from Anchorage in just a moment.
And here comes the great American car shopper to compare our Pontiac Catalina with the so-called low-priced cars. He's comparing the track.
It's wide. It's wider.
It's wide track. He's comparing the engine.
It's bigger. Oh, it's bigger.
Bigger.
Sir, would you mind, please?
Not at all.
Hold it taut.
Now he's going to compare the wheelbase.
It's longer.
It is longer. Wait till he finds out how little it costs.
Hey, who?
He just discovered that at Alaska Sales and Service, the comparison package price on a 1968 Pontiac Catalina 4-door sedan is only $3386.50, all factory equipped. And he'll find out, too, about the better terms and better service, all part of the comparison package at Alaska Sales and Service, 1300 East 5th Avenue.
All right, the action on a Muldoon Road videotape replay. Let's go to J.J. Johnson.
Number 3, the 4th man through Dr. Roland Lombard. So far, they've stayed in order. His time, 34 minutes and 5 seconds. The best time so far is still Dr. Charles Belford in 33 minutes and 18 seconds. This is checkpoint number 3, back to downtown.
All right, back down on 4th Avenue. Well, we're going to have quite a race out here because we've got lined up a dignitaries race. And hold on to that just a second. We got more action at Muldoon Road, checkpoint number 3.
Number 5 at checkpoint number 3 is Ramey Reddington, and he's running an excellent time, 34 minutes and 45 seconds. That's 34 minutes and 45 seconds. The best time still is Dr. Charles Belford through this checkpoint. We've recorded 5 teams through, all in order: George Adela, Billy Sturdivant, Dr. Charles Belford, Dr. Roland Lombard, and Ramey Reddington, who just went through. The best time still is Belford at 33:18. This is checkpoint number 3, back to downtown.
Well, yesterday I was sitting here crying the blues. Friday we had all sorts of our lovely queens down here, and yesterday nobody, and today we grabbed the first 2, and we have 2 of our guests from North Carolina, and your name is?
Pam Zollers, the Blueberry Queen.
And you're from where?
I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville.
Yes, sir.
And I'm Joey Ray, the Strawberry Queen, also from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Well, I know you girls are up here as part of the 1968 Fur Rendezvous, and what have they been keeping you busy with so far?
Well, I have 3 full pages filled up in my diary since I arrived here in Anchorage with interviews and luncheons and TV appearances. Everything that we have done has been quite an experience, and we have had a very, very full schedule.
Okay, we'll check back with our 2 queens in just a moment. Right now, more action, Boniface Road, checkpoint number 2.
Evan Swenson at Boniface Road. Annie Jimmy just passed here, 25 minutes and 9 seconds, the slowest time thus far. And Pete Shepard also passed here, 24 minutes and 2 seconds. Pete said he was going to pass Ann Wing at this point yesterday, and he did not do it. Inasmuch as Ann Wing had the fastest time at 15th in Cordova, we was hoping that perhaps she would pass Pete Shepard at this point, and we'd have something else to talk about there, but it just wasn't in the cards today. So Pete Shepard, 24 minutes, 2 seconds. This is a report from Boniface Crossing.
All right, the action at Muldoon Road, J.J. Johnson.
Joey Reddington from Flathorn Lake in 34 minutes and 13 seconds has just passed the Muldoon checkpoint. We'll give it back to downtown.
Once again down on 4th Avenue as the Dignitaries race is going on, and downhill has some comparative times.
Well, we have a dog race, to say the least, with Billy Sturtevant running 33:25 out there, and George Adler 34:29 at Muldoon. He has picked up a minute and 50 seconds. So we're down now on total elapsed time on the 3 days between Bill Sturtevant and George Adler, less than 50 seconds. So the gap is closing, and if he gets him in sight out there, this is going to be real close. He almost has to pass George. Not really. He doesn't. He's got 2 minutes interval behind him, and he's got a minute and 50 seconds to pick up on him. So he doesn't have to pass him, but he's got to be down here close. So if he gets him in sight, it's going to be interesting.
So if Billy Sturtevant finishes within a block of George Adler down here on 4th Avenue, we're going to have a real close race.
It's got to be less than a block, really. They've got to come right up to the finish line, right 1 and 2. Less than a block, really.
You know, that's almost too much to ask in a 75-mile race. We should have some more action out there on the trail. I hear the KENI copter talking. Bob Michael's down here, and Bob, you just came up from California. What do you think of Alaska sled dog racing?
I think this is one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. These dogs and these guys out here running through the backwoods and all over the place, and of course with the pretty girls all over the place, so you can't beat it.
Well, we've got Bob's wife out there keeping time, and she's enjoying the race from checkpoint number 5, which I understand is a beautiful vantage point.
That's what she told me yesterday, that you can see for about a quarter of a mile one way and about 100 or 200 yards the other way. So she's got a good vantage point out there. She's probably seeing more of the action than I am right now.
Well, all the action, of course, right now is out there on the trail. And as we have the Dignitary race, which is taking place, we're kidding Red Boucher and the mayor of Fairbanks, and he's going to have to race George Sullivan. More action out in the trail, the KENI copter, Wally Christensen.
This is the KENI copter. We're out beyond Muldoon on the trail. We've just passed over team number 4, Dr. Roland Lombard, who is running well, but there is quite a space between him and Dr. Charles Belford. We're just passing over the top of Dr. Belford. I'm sure that's who it's going to be in just a second. That's right. The teams are still strung out in the same order that they were when they started out here in the boondocks, and we are really out in the boondocks. We'll give you another report after we've checked Billy Sturtevant and George Adler. Back to the start-finish.
All right, more action out of Muldoon Road, checkpoint number 3.
Checkpoint number 3 at Muldoon Road, number 7. Mr. Werner Vent, who turned one of the best times through here yesterday, the first checkpoint through here, and turned in 34 minutes and 35 seconds today. So they're all running pretty close to 34 minutes. The best time still reported by Dr. Charles Belford from Massachusetts at 33:18, and Billy Sturtevant 33:25. This is J.J. Johnson at checkpoint number 3. Back to downtown.
All right, Warren event by the Muldoon checkpoint as our Dignitaries race is going on down here at 4th Avenue. We understand a big battle coming up between the mayor of Fairbanks, H.A. Red Boucher, and the mayor of Anchorage, George Sullivan. We'll be back with more of the coverage of the 1968 Fair Rendezvous World Championship sled dog races in just a moment.
Here's a very personal question, but a very important one. What shape is your estate in at the present moment? It's probably not in very good shape unless it includes the right kind of life insurance in the right amount. You certainly don't want to leave your heirs to disappear in debts, taxes, and other final expenses. But life insurance can protect your assets by supplying needed cash quickly and helping to leave your estate the way you want it. You may very well live to a fine old age, but it's always wise to look ahead and to make a periodic review of your financial affairs. The first man to check with is your lawyer, of course, but the team is not complete without your accountant, your trust officer, and your New York life agent. Consult John Connolly in Kenai or Ray Jersnick in Anchorage at the New York Life Insurance Company in any matters concerning your life insurance estate. He'll gladly help you as he's helped others. In Kenai, call John Connolly. In Anchorage, call Ray Jersnick at 272-7533.
All right, the dignitary race is continuing down here on 4th Avenue. And we've had our two lovely queens from North Carolina who just had their first opportunity on a sled dog. We're going to get them over here and talk to them. We can probably get their comments also. There's, is that George Sullivan there? Orville Lake is putting, is that Boucher or Sullivan? I can't tell by the back of their head. They both look alike. But Orville Lake is putting on his old wolf hat. And we have more action out of Boniface Road, checkpoint number 2.
Okay, checkpoint 2, Evan Swenson at Boniface Crossing. Richard, we're just relocating now. We waited until Ann Wing went through. Second slowest time of the day, 24 minutes, 21 seconds. So she's running a little bit slower than she was at 15th and Cordova. Apparently she had a little trouble down the trail. Just as we were leaving, we saw Earl Norris coming up the trail, but we didn't get his time. He was right on the tail of Ann Wing, so I assume that he will give us a good time at that point. So the 3 fastest times at the Boniface Crossing was Dr. Roland Lombard, second Joy Reddington, and third Billy Sturdivant. There's just about less than a minute between the 3 top teams at Boniface Crossing.
All right, we have an audio report from checkpoint number 3, Muldoon Road.
Well, at checkpoint number 3 on Muldoon Road, just through here, team number 8. So far, the teams have remained in order. There have been no passing. Beatus Moses has recorded the 3rd fastest time through this checkpoint in 33 minutes and 40 seconds, which leaves Dr. Charles Belford still the best time at 33 minutes and 18 seconds, followed by Billy Sturdivant at 33 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's the best time so far tuned to this checkpoint. This is checkpoint number 3. Let's go back to downtown.
Okay, well, we've got our 2 queens back after just participating in a sled dog race. Is this your first opportunity for a sled ride?
Yes, it certainly is, and it was so much fun.
I don't imagine they have anything like this down in North Carolina.
Oh, no, we hardly have any snow in Fayetteville.
What's on the agenda for the rest of your tour up here? How long are you going to be here?
Well, we leave tomorrow morning at 8:15. This afternoon we plan to go to the ice show and just visit around Anchorage.
We're going to be talking to some of the folks on the ice show, too. This your first ride also on a sled dog?
Yes, it is, and I have to say I won.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about these 2 festivals you have now, the Strawberry and the Blueberry, right?
Yes, that's correct. My festival was held last summer, May 24th to the 26th, and I was crowned on May 26th as the first North Carolina Blueberry Queen. Blueberries bring in about $4 million gross annual income to the blueberry growers in North Carolina, and therefore they feel it's an important enough crop to promote, and that's my job, to promote blueberries across the nation. And, of course, North Carolina. I've traveled from east to west, and by the time I give it my reign this May, I will have traveled about 20,000 miles for the blueberry industry.
How about you, Miss Strawberry?
Well, my festival is held in Chadbourne, North Carolina, and I was crowned last May 4th as the 35th Strawberry Queen, and I travel throughout North Carolina promoting blueberries, and I've also had the opportunity to go to Florida and then come up to Alaska.
All right, very good. We'd like to thank both of you for coming down here today, and certainly have enjoyed having you in the 1968 Fur Rendezvous pageant, too. More action on the trail, Muldoon Road, checkpoint number 3.
Andy Jimmy, number 9, just checking through Muldoon Road, and his time 36:07. He's running relatively slow compared to the other racers today. Andy Jimmy from Minto in 36:07. So the top 3 times through this checkpoint still remain Dr. Charles Belford in 33:18, Billy Sturdivant 33:25, and Beatus Moses 33:40. Let's send it back to downtown. This is checkpoint number 3.
All right, back down on 4th Avenue, and we continue with more of our coverage of the 1968 World Championship.
Stay tuned for the news next on KHAR.
A lower total food bill, just think about that. Then head for Safeway stores. Safeway shopping is unexcelled, and a lower total food bill is yours.
You save every day of the week when you have the Safeway shopping habit. And you save even more with the specials on weekends and early week. Start shopping Safeway now and count the savings. Plenty of free parking at all 3 of your Anchorage Safeway stores.
Serving metropolitan Anchorage and all of South Central Alaska. This is Heart Radio, KHAR AM and KHAR FM Anchorage.
Heart Radio News to the 10 o'clock hour. The temperature is 68 degrees. Enemy gunners have hit U.S. bases around Da Nang in one of the heaviest attacks of the war. Intelligence reports in South Vietnam say the Viet Cong are getting ready for a new offensive timed for the U.S. political conventions in August. In San Luis Obispo, California, police say a man in San Luis Obispo broke into a sporting goods store, stole a .38 caliber revolver and shells, and shot 3 people, 2 of them fatally. The nation's governors have discussed poverty and ghettos, and the majority of those who spoke agreed that more government money is not the answer to the overall problem. A third straight night of racial disturbance has erupted in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and tornadoes, violent winds, and hailstorms have swept parts of the South and Midwest, with twisters touching down in 4 separate states. In news concerning Alaska, fire erupted during the late afternoon yesterday on Cleary Summit near Fairbanks, causing the Bureau of Land Management to add 16 more firefighters to the 4 that were sent earlier to fight a small fire just below the summit. The fire and 14 others have been reported in the past 24 hours to the Fairbanks Fire Control Center. The majority of the fires are within a radius of 50 miles of that center. Fire crews were working on a total of 23 fires, and at least 5 were demanned by late this morning. The weather, some sports news, and a closing note right after this word.
The Kenai Peninsula is known the world over for its giant moose, and that citizen is only one of the attractions. Many more to see in the Great Kenai: an abundance of fish in the waters, oil underneath, farms in the valleys, and sheep in the hills. You won't want to miss a foot of the completely paved highway from Anchorage through the Great Kenai, Skilak, and Tustamina lakes, waterways galore. And one of the best places to explore nature's wonders is in Homer, starting at Willard's Moose Camp, accessible only by air via Cook Inlet Aviation. Situated on beautiful Caribou Lake, the lodge and log cabins offer clean, rustic accommodations for a day, week, or as long as you can stay. Home-cooked meals at the camp are served family style. Registered guide service is available for packed trips to the high country, for photography, and some of the best stream rainbow fishing in Alaska. Willard's Moose Camp on Caribou Lake is a paradise trip you'll never forget. Reservations are taken anytime by calling Cook Inlet Aviation, or look for the sign, Willard's Moose Camp in Homer.
In sports news, last year, right-hander Jim Lonberg won 22 games during the regular season for the Boston Red Sox, 2 games during the World Series, and was voted the American League Cy Young Award winner. During the winter, he injured his knee in a skiing accident, underwent surgery, and since then he's been of little value to the defending American League champions. Last night, Lonberg finally won his first game of this season as the Red Sox outslugged the New York Yankees 7-6. In weather news for Anchorage and the Matanuska Valley, the weatherman says fair tonight, warm and sunny again on Tuesday, partly cloudy late Tuesday. The low tonight in the mid-50s, the high tomorrow near 70, with precipitation probabilities near 0% tonight and tomorrow. The low last night was 52, the official high today 75, and the present temperature at Heart Radio is 67 degrees. Well, it happened in Chicago. Where else? There's a tavern on Chicago's south side called the Place Where Everybody Goes. Well, 4 firemen who hadn't planned a visit did so unexpectedly when their hook and ladder crashed through the front door. Roosevelt Hampton, the owner of the tavern, says everybody was just sitting there nice and quiet when in comes this hook and ladder truck, throwing bricks, glass, and cigarette machine all through the bar. The truck was racing to a fire when it swerved to avoid hitting a car, and 4 firemen dropped in for a short beer. Bob Jameson, KHAR News.
Win, save at all 3 John Stepp locations. A 1968 Comet Sport Coupe now on display at the new Lincoln Mercury Center, 6th and Gamble.
Don't let the week slip by without stopping by Harold's for some of their super savings. Harold's in the Sears Mall now has slacks, tops, vests, jackets, blouses, and skirts, all name brands for half the regular price. A wide variety of Domini shoes now just for $15 a pair, plus a select group of sandals and name brand tennis shoes for only $3. Men's short sleeve sports shirts, just $6 each at Harold's. Don't pass up any bargains at Harold's this week. Stop in now. There's something to please everyone. Harold's Shoes in the Sears Mall.
Now, you wonder what Marshall is talking about there, the Larry's Surfing Association. It's the Heart Radio program, Surfing Association. If we can get enough people to join it, here's what we'll do. Sometime in the dead of winter, when it's really cold, we'll all get together, charter an airplane, and for a weekend, we'll fly over to Hawaii. And for those of us who are frustrated surfers, we'll rent some surfboards and go surfing, and the rest of you can sit around and ogle the girls. And, of course, you girls can sit around and ogle the boys, I guess.
Sealand, America's seagoing motor carrier, is sailing the waters between Anchorage and Seattle twice a week, 52 weeks a year. 3 ships to serve you direct with no delays or detours. The SS Galveston, the SS Seattle, and the SS Mobile. Sealand is the service that really moves your goods, the fast, dependable way, with regular schedules to the rail belt and Kenai Peninsula. Sealand vans are temperature controlled for perishables, and containers eliminate packaging expenses and cut handling to a minimum. Sealand offers prompt inland services anywhere, at moderate cost to you. Whatever you want to ship, wherever you want to move ahead.
What was that? That was another mistake for me.
Serving metropolitan Anchorage and all of south central Alaska, this is Heart Radio, KHAR AM and KHAR FM Stereo, Anchorage.
Good morning, Larry Larson, KHAR News. It's 68 degrees at 8 o'clock. The first portion of the 8 o'clock report is brought to you by the City of Anchorage Telephone Utility. Forces of Senator George McGovern have won an appeals court victory in their battle to get back 151 California delegates denied them. A man has surrendered to FBI agents in Buffalo, New York, after holding his 17-month-old daughter at knife point in an airline hijacking attempt. Bobby Fischer has publicly apologized to Russia's Boris Spassky for arriving late at international chess championships in Iceland. Those are the headlines. Details following news of Alaska. Governor William Egan has endorsed a bill designed to ensure the security and privacy of the Alaska Justice Information System, the computerized tracking device scheduled to go on the line next month. The bill was one of 9 Egan signed into law, including appropriations totaling more than $3 million for a tourism revolving loan fund and increased retirement benefits. The computer system law charges the Governor's Commission on the Administration of Justice with wide-ranging authority to review individual requests for access to information. The bill specifically gives persons the right to inspect criminal justice information relating to them. The Alaska Plan Policy Board has voted to incorporate under state law as a non-profit corporation and to submit a $125,000 budget proposal to federal officials for financing an executive director and 3 other staff positions. Board Chairman Robert Willard has said the corporation would be known as the Alaska Plan Construction Opportunity Policy Board Incorporated. The board would be charged with ensuring minority hire goals for all federal or federally assisted construction projects throughout the state. Willard said uniform bid conditions contained in the Alaska Plan become effective today. A preliminary count by the State Patrol lists 5 persons dead over the holiday weekend in the state, including 2 persons who drowned when their boat overturned in Lake Louise. Authorities identified the drowning victims as 54-year-old Thomas Ligas of Anchorage and 16-year-old Larry Thomas, a friend of the Ligas family. The pair drowned Saturday in Lake Louise east of Anchorage when their small boat reportedly swamped. No new traffic fatalities were reported since Sunday. Albert Clark, a 33-year-old staff sergeant stationed at Fort Greeley, was killed Saturday morning in a 1-car accident between Greeley and Delta Junction. The patrol said Clark was traveling at a high rate of speed when he lost control of the car and left the Richardson Highway. Nellie Smith, 24, and David Amaro, 43, died Sunday in a 2-car smash-up 40 miles south of Fairbanks on the new Anchorage-Fairbanks Highway. Details of the accident were sketchy. Troopers tentatively listed both victims as Fairbanks residents. Former Commissioner of the Department of Fish and Game, Wallace Norenberg, has been presented an award for recognition of outstanding service with the state. In presenting the award, Governor William Egan praised Norenberg for spearheading department investigations leading to the present high quality of salmon forecasting in Alaska. The commissioner announced his retirement effective June 30th. Egan last week named James Brook, an Anchorage-based biologist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, to head the department beginning August 1st. And in sports, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots took a doubleheader from the University of California Golden Bears, 2-0 and 7-1.
It's almost invisible, that telephone line, and you take it for granted when it's working fine. But behind the scenes, working day and night, is an army of people to make it right. Linemen and front office personnel, operators to make things gel, designers improving the modern phone to make it attractive in the modern home, specialists who study things constantly to make your phone a model of efficiency, and a crowd of hard-working people who keep the telephones doing what they do.
It takes a whole lot of people to make it go. A whole lot of people to make it go. A whole lot of people to do our thing, to make that telephone ring. It takes a whole lot of people to make it go. A whole lot of people to make it go. A whole lot of people to do our thing. It takes a whole lot of people. It takes a whole lot of people to make that telephone.
A public service reminder from your City of Anchorage telephone utility.
This portion of the 8 o'clock report was brought to you by the City of Anchorage telephone utility. 6 minutes past 8. The second portion of the 8 o'clock report is brought to you by Carey Mobile Homes, where you can discover the world of mobile home living. A U.S. appeals court in Washington has acted on the controversial decisions of the Democratic Credentials Committee involving California and Illinois. The appeals court gave a victory to the forces of Senator George McGovern in their battle with the Democratic Credentials Committee for California delegates, and at the same time, forces of Chicago Mayor Richard Daley were given a setback by the court in the second half of the dual attack on the committee's hotly disputed decisions. On California, the appeals court reversed a district court decision which had upheld the committee's action of stripping McGovern of 151 delegates. The circuit court ordered the district bench to rewrite its decision in the California case in accordance with an opinion not yet filed. The appeals court rejected the appeal of Daley's forces in one case, and in 2 others it directed the state court action be prohibited insofar as the delegates from Illinois, which were rejected by the committee, are concerned. The brief orders of the appeals court carried no reasons for the action. The judges were expected to file opinions later in the day. The district court on Monday ruled that the federal judiciary had no place in the debate over delegates from the 2 states. The Credentials Committee had issued decisions that stripped Senator McGovern of 151 California delegates and told Mayor Richard Daley and 58 other uncommitted Chicago delegates to stay home. A man surrendered to the FBI today at Buffalo, New York airport after holding his 17-month-old daughter hostage at knife point in an apparent airline hijack attempt. Authorities said the man had threatened to kill the child, but she was not hurt. The FBI said the man, identified as 23-year-old Charles Smith of Buffalo, gave up after being assured police would not harm him. The FBI and police said the episode began with a stabbing incident in Buffalo during the early morning hours. Bobby Fischer has publicly apologized for delaying the start of his $400,000 World Championship chess match with Russia's Boris Spassky. A statement prepared by Fischer's attorneys was read to newsmen by International Chess Federation President Max Euwe. It is not known whether the statement will satisfy Spassky's requirements for punishment against Fischer's late appearance at the Iceland matches. Spassky says there will be an announcement by the Russian delegation later. The trial of the Cook County prosecutor and 13 others involved in a controversial 1969 weapons raid on Black Panthers has been continued until July 10th. 2 Black Panther leaders were killed in the raid. The continuance was granted to allow defense attorneys some vacation time. Officials of the French and German governments have resigned. French Premier Jacques Chaban-Delmas has quit, taking his cabinet with him, with no official reason given. The West German Economic and Finance Minister Karl Schiller has put in his resignation. The German resignation is apparently over monetary differences. The French resignation, which Shaban Dama had talked about earlier in the year, comes after a long period of criticism against the French premier. Shaban Dama had been criticized for his personal tax handling in a series of real estate scandals. In doubt today are 2 official French visits to foreign countries. Foreign Minister Maurice Schumann was to go to Peking, and Defense Minister Michel Debré had been planning a visit to Washington. Well, we'll let the truck go by. Radio Hanoi says the U.S. has not been able to blockade 12 seacoast ports in North Vietnam. And Hanoi says attempts at bombing railroads in the north have failed because tracks are replaced within hours of destruction. The U.S. command says American planes wrecked 3 major depots in the edges of Hanoi yesterday. It was one of the heaviest raids against the north in weeks. And it says units of the U.S. fleet sank or damaged 12 supply barges off the northern coast. British seaman Sir Francis Chichester is reported rather weak but improving from an ordeal at sea which ended his chances in the single-handed transatlantic yacht race. Chichester was admitted to the hospital Monday in poor health following a series of mishaps aboard his yacht, the Gypsy Moth.
Wanted, property owners with space to rent. Let KENI Mobile Homes show you how your extra lot or properties can bring you added income by simply renting it for mobile home space. KENI Mobile Homes has placed mobile homes on Anchorage sites for over 20 years, providing space for the homeowner and additional income for property owners. Several lots or parcel of land can be easily developed into a mobile home court. Let KENI advise and assist you with planning and financing. Let your property bring you additional income at a minimum investment. Discover the world of mobile homes. Stop in at KENI Mobile Homes, 3317 Mountain View Drive, or call 272-5414 for additional information. That's KENI Mobile Homes, where it's a beautiful world.
Speaking of beautiful worlds, the weather for Anchorage and the Matanuska Valley, sunny and warm today. Continued fair tonight and Thursday, and fair again on Friday. The high today in the upper 70s in the city and in the 80s in the Matanuska Valley. The low tonight around 50 degrees. Yesterday's high was 71. Currently at KHAR, it's 68 degrees. The final portion of the 8 o'clock report has been brought to you by KENI Mobile Homes. Discover the world of KENI. KENI Mobile Homes, it's a beautiful world. This is Larry Larson, KHAR News.
Did you almost get a fish that big last summer? But you lost it at the crucial moment when you swatted a mosquito. Don't let that happen this year. Get Off, the most effective insect repellent ever developed. It's the best thing that ever happened to outdoor people. It gives full protection for 5 hours. It's non-greasy and it won't stain your clothing. Off comes in 3 convenient forms: the liquid bottle, the aerosol liquid, and the aerosol foam can. Whichever you choose, you know that you've got the finest on the market. Keep it handy whenever you're outside this summer. That's Off, a product of the Johnson Wax Company.
12 minutes past 8 o'clock, and once again, a great big, huge thank you to Mayor George Sullivan and his Think Sunshine proclamation. It's working, George. And to celebrate this beautiful day, let's foobash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Russell, you and Dave Redmonds at 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Good evening to you from the Big 55. I hear you knocking. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Doggone, 23 minutes after 9 o'clock.
The little old litter returner here, and today, Mrs. Annabelle Upson, this is your litter. 14 bottles and cans, 98 soggy facial tissues, 13 cubic feet of dried chicken bones, 15 pounds of filter tips, 16 bales of newspapers, and a partially eaten persimmon.
And you win the prize.
Mrs. Upson, this is your litter. What if you got all your litter back? This year, support your local trash basket.
This public service message has been presented by the Keep Anchorage Beautiful Committee and by Pepsi-Cola Company of Alaska.
The Big 55, KENI.
A salty dog. Procol Harum. 1969 solid gold. A solid doll, Procol Harum.
KENI Solid Gold Weekend.
Everly Brothers, Solid Gold, 27 and a half minutes after the hour.
I bless the day I found you. The Big 55, KENI Anchorage.
Guess who? Hit down from the Big 55. Do you miss me?
What good is it?
Guess who? 26 minutes before 10 o'clock in the evening. Do you miss me, darling?
More music, KENI.
23 degrees below zero. It's cold outside on a solid gold evening. This is Keith, 98.6. That's normal temperature. But then, when I'm close to you, my temperature goes skyrocket high, and I get goosebumps all over, which is sort of a contradiction.
Morning sun, I see it.
On a solid gold Sunday evening, 23 minutes before 10 o'clock, it's 23 degrees below zero, all kinds of 23s, and with a total like that, it's 46. Fresh as a daisy, Emmett Road. Sound 37. Emmett Rhodes is fresh as a daisy. KENI is fresher than a daisy. And Michael Tremaine, well, that's another story.
KENI Solid Gold.
Dennis Yost and the Classics 4. Call you Stormy.
You were the sun that shine.
20 to 35 degrees below zero, the high Monday near 10 of below, and near zero chance of precipitation tonight and Monday, and the outlook for Tuesday is fair and cold, and currently at the Big 55, 23 degrees below zero is the temperature, and up for adoption is a guinea pig. It's white in color, and for information on that, you can call 279-6210, and they'd like to get rid of it. This is Tom Jones. She's a lady. By me, that's okay.
She's all you'd ever want. She's the kind of...
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Cannon, you and music.
Well, we must fumigate the studio for one thing. Regardless of what you have heard the past 5 hours, KENI would like to take this time to apologize. I realize you're flipping your radios back over to us now. The last 5 hours of dead air should be corrected by next week. Anyway, the Boom Boom program's underway, and we got a couple of Hogwash Awards to give away. Chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep, hit out at KENI, ringing the phones off the hook with that one, 1116 on the Cannon program, and we're so glad that you're out there tonight. The Hogwash Award is coming up in 2 1/2 minutes. Everybody's just dying to find out who gets the world-famous Jim Cannon Hogwash Award tonight. Well, Thursdays always were that way.
She's got something that moves.
Grassroots, lucky number 13, Temptation Eyes at KENI. It's 11:19 with Jim Cannon. 2 people tonight, friends, have hurt me. Come through, and the mail was so overwhelming today that I had to give 2 people the Hogwash Award for this Thursday night. 2 people in our audience get the Hogwash Award. One comes from William John Lovell Jr. of KYAK. That's for addressing the envelope, the 2 jerks. I realize, of course, Larry Wayne is a jerk. We all know that. But the 2 jerks is out. I do not agree with you there, Mr. Lovell Jr. Then came the clincher. The letter which receives the most mention tonight in the hogwash contest. To begin with, it's addressed to Larry Wayne, which is a bad way to start anyway, Coral Frimmering, or whatever your name is, of Anchorage. Coral, this was not appreciated. Dear Larry Wayne, comma, I think you are a groove. I listen to your show all the time. You tell Jimmy Boom Boom Cannon who's boss. I want to thank you for the copy of 101 Hits of 1970. I sent that to you, Coral. Larry Wayne did not send it to you. I sent it to you. He didn't even lick the envelope. He didn't even touch it. It was all my doing. That's how you got it, Coral, baby. You were number 1 on my list for best disc jockeys. I want to tell you who's next. I won't tell you who's next, she says, but I think you should know that Boom Boom is last. I gotta run now. Sincerely, Coral. Peace and keep cool. P.S. I really dig your show. To you, Carol, 1 galvanized bucket full of hogwash. Compliments of Jim Cannon.
Jim Cannon, KENI.
Baby, I love you. Going back to 1969 to pick that one up at 11:23 with Jim Cannon, and I'd like to say that I play that for my little Libra friend up in KYAK, Eagle River, actually, tonight.
People with epilepsy can be good workers, good neighbors, and good friends. For the facts, contact Epilepsy, Washington, D.C., 2005.
KENI. You ever notice how people up in Eagle River get mad when you call them up in KYAK? They get really irate, and they start throwing things at you, usually. Oh, yeah, there's a wind warning with northerly winds 20 to 35 miles per hour, occasionally gusting up to 50 miles per hour tonight and Friday, and believe me, it's happening out there. Continued clear and cold, lows tonight between 10 and 15 above with highs Friday near 15. Currently outside 14 degrees, and KE and I would like to remind you there's a rummage sale going to be held Saturday from 8:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon at the corner of 8th and E Street, sponsored by the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ. This is Jimmy Boom Boom Cannon at 11:25, playing music just for you with Bobby Goldsboro. It's number 29, watching Scotty grow.
There he sits with a pin and a yellow
grow. Let's turn to the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar with Yvonne Elliman.
I don't know how to love him. So I love him so. The Big 55 of KENI.
And Diana Ross. That's it, 13. Remember me. When you drink the wine, baby, the one that gave you everything I ever owned. 9:15 with Super Johnny.
KENI hit bound.
When you were Tom Jones, 14 degrees below zero. No additional comment.
She's all you'd ever want. She's the...
Getting an earful tonight from probably the world's greatest authority on the God Ordeus tonight. Sounds like an imported name to me. 9:18 with Larry Wayne. The Alaskan Scottish Club is having a Robert Burns supper, which could be a little hot. 7:30 at night at the Pioneer Hall, 612 F Street. Tickets are $6 for adults and $3 for children. That's the 23rd of this month.
Are you looking for a career of travel and intrigue? The United States Bureau of Customs is recruiting security officers. The job requires considerable air travel and personal risk to protect aircraft, their passengers, and crews. Starting salaries range from $5,800 to $10,000 annually. To apply, contact your local Civil Service Commission area office. Discharged military personnel may be appointed under the Veterans Readjustment Appointment Program and should contact the nearest Customs Personnel Office.
And now, here's Larry.
And I gave you the night off. You podcast. What a ditch. I can't. Thank you very much. What, lady? That's my important Japanese sweater you're pulling on there. It's valuable that I'm done. Just think, you all came here just to hear me do the weather forecast.
I'm impressed. I really am. All right, can we dim the house lights, please? Just a little bit. Thank you. It hurts my eyes when I do this. This is a national television hookup. KENI weather cold tonight, becoming partly cloudy Tuesday and not quite so cold. Oh, thank you. Wait a minute. I'm not even done here. Wait just a minute here. Low tonight from 10 to 25 below zero, and a high Tuesday from 5 above to 10 below. Listen, will you be quiet, please? Hello, okay, precipitation possibilities 0. Increasing to 10% Tuesday, and the advanced outlook for Wednesday cloudy with some light snow possible. All right, currently 14 degrees below zero at the big 55. Hello, I can't. No, you people seem to. Remember what I said about having the weatherman hijacked to Lebanon, friends? That offer still stands. The next day it gets above 70. Once we ever break this cold spell, I will definitely talk to my friends in Juneau. Something tells me they're not going to be my friends after I talk to them. But anyway, we're going to talk to them and see if we can get that weatherman to get weather above 70, because 14 below is a little too cold to roast marshmallows, let alone anything else by. I'll tell you that there.
My sweet Lord.
Has presented your horoscope. You may be under the lucky Zodiac sign today, so be sure to register at one of your Zodiac sponsors to be eligible to win the new 1971 Plymouth Duster to be given away March 30th. Your registration also makes you eligible to win one of the weekly $50 gift certificates presented where the Duster is on display. Employees of KYAK, the sponsors, and their families are not eligible to win.
And that Duster is on display at Caribou Mobile Homes on Lake Otis Road. So why don't you drop on out and see that. It's brand spanking new. Grand prizes. 24 until 10. Chuck Orr with you till 12 midnight.
The Giant has a jolly good weekend here at 650 KYAK.
Oh, wow. It's going to be one of those mornings. I just found out that what I said was not being broadcast over AM radio. Of all the times I ever had anything to say, boy, am I going to get it now, Cannon. If you're just turning it on your AM radio, that was our birthday song for Carol, and she's sitting there waiting for me to give her permission to open her package. So, shall we give her permission to open the package?
Huh?
Shall we give her permission to open the package?
Let me get the wax out of my ears, yeah.
Shall we take a vote? What do you think, Ed?
I say yes.
That's one yes.
I say yes.
That's a 2 yes. It's unanimous. You can open the package now. This is really cool. A multi-million-dollar birthday card. Are you standing around here doing something, Cannon? Huh? Did you have something to say?
Well, I just wanted to wish Carol a very happy birthday.
Oh, you did?
Throw her a birthday kiss.
You gonna throw my old lady a birthday kiss?
Well, you know, I'm world famous for birthday kisses.
You're not world... I'm world famous. Oh, yes, you're the official birthday greeter, right?
Yes.
Come in and do your thing.
Let's have a big round of applause.
I'll never hear the end of this one, man. Make me smile. 12 minutes after 12. I guess things seem to be running okay now. We're back in action due to a couple of technical delays there. And we've got one more thing to make this birthday celebration complete, which is actually really not my birthday, but somebody I know. And we got to play some Joe Cocker. Not as much as we did last night. Just one song. Here we go. Joseph Cocker, who ran off with my old lady. Black-Eyed Blues. Black-Eyed Blues. That's what he deserves. 16 minutes after 12 in the morning time, which happens to be Anchorage Bedding and Furniture Company time. Time to save now on bed pillows, just 99 cents, or tucka beds. When was the last time you had a tucka bed? Well, now they are $89.95 at Anchorage Bedding and Furniture Company, located at 931 East 6th Avenue. The Doors, with late great Jim Morrison, from the album L.A. Woman, a song with the same name. Nice LA woman, too. 24 minutes after 12, into the AM as we do it to it on a Thursday morning. This is one of my favorite times when I get to tell you about Dwight Finger's quick TV service. That's not a put-on, too, either. That's a true story. Dwight Finger. I don't know if his name is real, but it fits the purpose. Dwight Finger's quick TV and radio service, servicing radio and TVs. Makes a lot of sense. Also has TV rentals. If you've never seen a TV before, maybe don't want to buy one, maybe you'd like to rent it, you can try it at Dwight's Quick TV Service and TV Rental and Radio Service. Also service musical instrument amplifiers. So far we've got TV, radio, and amplifiers, okay? And free advice for the do-it-yourselfers, parts available for the do-it-yourselfers also, and he's very willing to help any do-it-yourselfer with advice on how to do it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now what else do we have to tell you? Located at 2728 Tudor Road, 1 block east of Lake Otis on Tudor Road, which is a good location. And if you are one of the more fortunate people in Anchorage that have a telephone, you can call 279-1057. 279-1057. Quick TV service where house calls are still only $14. He must make a fortune. Cinnamon Girl, Neil Young, and Crazy Horse. In Search of the Lost Chord, Legend of the Mine, Timothy Leary's gone. Actually, Timothy Leary is in Switzerland in jail, applying for political asylum for I don't know what, but that's where he is right now, if you're keeping track of Timothy Leary. Kind of hard to keep track of. 25 minutes after 12 on a Saturday morning. I hope your Saturday is going better than mine. We're going to talk right now about Quick TV service, which happens to be very fast. Quick TV service, Dwight Finger's Quick TV service. When you have a name like Dwight Finger, you got to be quick. Servicing on radios and TVs, TV rentals, servicing on musical instrument amplifiers, all available at Quick TV Service. There's free advice for the do-it-yourselfers, parts available for the do-it-yourselfers too, and he's very willing to help the do-it-yourselfers with advice on how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you can either buy the book or you can ask Dwight. Location?
Ask Jim.
Ask Jim too?
Yes, I know how to do it.
Big deal. That's not what I heard. Location is 2728 Tudor Road, 1 block east of Lake Otis and Tudor Road. If you got a telephone, you can call Dwight.
I got a telephone.
279-1057.
What can I call him?
You can call him Dwight Finger. That's what it says right here, Dwight Finger's TV and radio service. 279-1057. That's Quick TV service, where house calls are still only... How much, Jim? Still only. Take a guess. Guess how much he's asking now.
A house call?
Yes, when he comes out to your house and takes a look at your TV set.
Oh, a TV set.
Take a guess now.
Oh,
Take your time while you're at it.
I'd say about $14.
Right. So, if you have an ailing TV set, see Quick TV service. Or just kick the TV out the door and leave your radio on.
Winter is Alaska's longest season, and with its duration comes the most time to enjoy the enormous variety of recreational adventures the state has to offer. Through the end of March, it's Heart Radio's wish to get you out and into the wonderful world of winter. We'll either take you with us as we cross the area covering the many competitive events this season, or we'll get you into the season with inspiration and instruction provided by people here in the area who make that their business. The wonderful world of winter, weekends through March, from Heart Radio.
Stay with Heart Radio and Day and Night Fuel for complete coverage this afternoon of events at the Willow Winter Carnival.
Meet Donald Pollard, Director of Design at Bentley's Commercial Interiors.
Well, basically, ergonomics is simply the study of work surfaces, utilizing all commercial spaces to the utmost advantage, to represent your business in the most functional and total concept. That's my job. Whether I start from scratch before you break ground, or redesign your existing commercial property.
If your ideas, your products are worth establishing a business around, then they're worth design by Donald Pollard at Bentley's Commercial Interiors for the discriminating professional.
Listen at 7:50, 8:50, and 9:50 a.m. when KHAR brings you the Ski Report, sponsored in part by Bentley's Commercial Interiors.
The weather for Anchorage, in the Matanuska Valley. Partial clearing tonight, increasing clouds again Monday. Some rain or snow likely again. Low tonight, the 20s, and tomorrow the mid-30s. Tuesday's outlook mostly cloudy. At KHAR, still 39 degrees.
Consistently listenable, KHAR AM and KHAR FM Stereo Anchorage, where one good tune leads to another.
The Villa Fontana, as time goes by, like Blue with Andre Previn, Roger Williams in Love is Blue, and Too Young with Nelson Riddle.
Visiting Anchorage on business? Have a client or executive coming in for a look at the pipeline route? Need a charter to Prudhoe Bay? Pat's Flying Service on Merrill Field offers 24-hour charter service. Charter pilots with thousands of hours of accident-free experience. Pat's offers the latest in equipment, including a twin-engine Cessna 310 for 5 passengers with de-ice and IFR equipment. Pat's pilots have the experience that it takes to get you there and back with thousands of hours of accident-free experience. So if you're worried about travel delay with that executive, call Pat's Flying Service. They'll get you there and back. Pat's Flying Service, Merrill Field.
So you're going to hit the road, eh, Junior? Yes, and it just happens to be time for the Road Report. Fat mouth. It's time now for the Heart Radio Road Report, brought to you by the new car sales 1950 Gamble. Here's Gene Menzel from the Alaska Department of Highways with the latest report on highway driving conditions. If I was that child, I'd avoid this neighborhood.
Overcast skies prevail, and the temperatures range from -5 degrees at Nenana to +32 degrees at Valdez. The Sterling Highway is fair with snowpack, 2 to 4 inches of new snow and fog throughout, with fair to poor visibility at Nanilchik and poor visibility at Soldotna. The Kenai Spur and North Kenai roads are fair with snowpack, 8 inches of new snow and fog patches with fair to poor visibility. The Seward Highway is fair with ice and snowpack and 2 to 8 inches of new snow received throughout. The Anchorage area roads are fair and slick. The Glen Highway is mostly fair with snowpack throughout and 4 inches of new snow, and in poor condition through the Salina section and snowing with 6 to 14 inches received, plus fair visibility, and there is drifting in the Montasta Pass. The Edgerton Highway is fair with snowpack. I'll be back with more information in a moment.
Have you noticed that motoring isn't happy anymore? As gas runs out and traffic piles up and roads run down, you could be driven up a wall. To relieve your tensions, get a Volvo 164 from New Car Sales. The 164 is uncommonly equipped to make you feel good when things aren't going good. It has infinitely adjustable bucket seats to unwind you, with a heated driver's seat to defrost you, a 10-outlet air conditioning system to cool your brow, power steering to relax your arms, an automatic transmission to give your right hand and left foot a vacation. The Volvo 164 has the power to relieve your anxieties. It has 4 power-assisted disc brakes to count on, a rear window defroster defogger to reveal your past, and a steel cage surrounding the passenger compartment to prolong your future. The Volvo 164 at New Car Sales, 1950 Gamble, comes with all these features at no extra cost. So New Car Sales won't relieve you of one extra penny for them, which is a blessed relief in itself.
Highway is fair with snowpack throughout and 5 to 10 inches of new snow. It is still snowing from Thompson Pass north through Isabel Pass, and there are 15 to 20 mile per hour winds at Thompson Pass. The Anchorage Fairbanks Highway is fair to Broad Pass with snowpack and 2 to 5 inches of new snow and good from Cantwell to Fairbanks. The Alaska Highway is good from Fairbanks to Johnson River and fair from Tok to the border. It is snowing lightly from Johnson River to the border with 1 to 3 inches received. From the border out, it is fair. The Haines Road is mostly fair with 3 inches of new snow in the 75-mile area and snowing, drifting from mile 90 to mile 57, and raining at Haines and icy. All vehicles should be equipped with snow tires or chains, and please drive carefully. This is Jean Menzel concluding the road and weather report from the Anchorage office of the Alaska Department of Highways for February 7th.
Listen Monday through Friday at 10:45 a.m., 12:30 and 4:30 p.m. for the Heart Radio Road Report, brought to you in part by the new car sales at 1950 Gamble between 15th and Fireweed. According to that report, snow is clear up to here. On who? I'm glad you asked.
Cut Rate Kid under the windmill on Fireweed now has Miller's Premium Beer, a $7 value for just $3.99 a case in 12-ounce cans.
We heard Ruby by the 101 Strings, Billy Vaughn, with Strangers in the Night, and Terry's Theme by Marty Gold.
Cut Rate Kid now featuring Miller's Premium Beer for just $3.99 a case, a regular $7 value for 12-ounce cans. The Cut Rate Kid under the windmill on Fireweed.
This is Alaska's good music station, KHAR AM and KHAR FM stereo, Anchorage.
The news at 11 is brought to you by Tracy's Florists and Jewelers, 2607 Spenard Road.
Good morning. At 11 o'clock, it's 26 degrees in Anchorage. This is Bill Blessington. The Department of the Army and Army Secretary Howard Callaway announced this morning that the headquarters of the Alaskan Army Command is going to be phased out. It's going to affect fewer than 400 people, however. The move is planned to reorganize the internal functioning of the Army. Final action on a legal and medical definition of death has been postponed until Monday by the State Senate. A branch of the University of Alaska at Fairbanks has issued its second report dealing with school systems in the state. This report favors phase-out of the state-operated school system and the Bureau of Indian Affairs schools. The new state coordinator of environmental surveillance of the pipeline construction says Alaska has the primary responsibility to oversee that environmental impact is kept to a minimum. A Russian trawler seized for allegedly fishing within U.S. territorial waters is scheduled to be brought into Kodiak late this afternoon or early evening. The trawler is being escorted by the Coast Guard cutter Monroe. The British-French civil supersonic transport, the Concorde, is expected to arrive at Fairbanks International Airport at noon today to begin several weeks of cold weather testing. A spokesman for Air France said the Concorde will arrive from a trip over the North Pole from Iceland.
Friendships may come and go, but love always stays with flowers. A beautiful box of cut flowers keeps friends close and loved ones even closer. An assortment of cut flowers provides the perfect gift for Valentines who enjoy expressing themselves with their own arranging ideas in the home. Maybe that's your wife, sweetheart, daughter, or mom. If your sweetheart isn't the creative type, give her a potted plant. Moms are always high on every lady's list of favorites. Of all flowers, they'll bring joy that lasts and lasts. Tracy's can accommodate all your floral needs this Valentine's Day, from a single bud to sending flowers to the lower 48. Tracy's has everything, plus free delivery. Call Tracy's and ask for the Teleflora service to send flowers outside. Teleflora is your assurance of personalized service by qualified teleflorists throughout the country. Prompt delivery guaranteed. Plants, bouquets, and floral arrangements, all for your loved ones, at Tracy's Florists and Jewelers, 2607 Spenard Road.
The White House says the Defense Department is one of the agencies working on plans to ensure that the nation's highways remain free of truckers' disturbances. Deputy White House News Secretary Gerald Warren has confirmed that President Nixon is considering the release of some key documents relating to the Watergate scandals. Democratic Senator J.W. Fulbright has introduced a resolution that would end U.S. aid programs to foreign countries. For Anchorage and vicinity in the Matanuska Valley, partial clearing today, cloudy tonight and Friday with a 40% chance of more snow tomorrow. Light winds high today and tomorrow in the low 30s. The outlook for Saturday, cloudy. In Anchorage at 11, it's 26 degrees. That's the news. This is Bill Blessington.
The news has been brought to you by Tracy's Florists and Jewelers, 2607 Spenard Road. Tracy's, where they have flowers that speak a million words.
There's a line in the song, Both Sides Now. Something's lost when something's gained. It sort of fits the present situation relating to daylight saving time. We gained an hour of daylight in the evening, but lost it in the morning. And with that morning hour went the relative safety of daylight for getting our kids to school in plain sight. KHAR doesn't expect to turn back the clock, but we can suggest doing some things that might help. Don't let your kids walk to school alone. Try to organize groups so the kids in your area walk together. Better yet, maybe you could walk with them. Organize a carpool. Share the driving with other parents in your neighborhood. Apply reflective tape to outside clothing so kids who walk can be seen easier. And of course, you've told them already, but remind them again to avoid strangers. Within a few weeks, it'll be light again in the mornings. But with a little help and concern, we can bring safety back to both ends of the day today. Both sides now.
You never did tell me who voted to send them kids to school in the dark with that daylight penny pinching time. Well, our due representatives in Congress and the legislature. That gang, well, they ain't worth cutting up for halibut bait. Oh, will you stop that now? Frank Purcell with a fistful of dollars, till there was you by the 101 strings.
Smythe Overseas Van Lines, 2510 Post Road, can supply you with packing cartons and moving supplies if you want to move yourself. You can purchase supplies such as wrapping paper, cartons, and other shipping supplies from Smythe, the smoother mover. If you have an item that is particularly fragile, let the professional men at Smythe, the smoother mover, pack and crate that fragile item for you. Whether it be packing cartons and supplies or careful professional crating of your treasured household goods, call Smythe at 272-9437. Smythe, the smoother mover.
Well, in order that the guy should get along when going to the islands, learning a word or two of the language. Mahalo, that means thank you. Getting ready in case they spring, eh? No. Talk about one-track mind.
This is Ronald McDonald. Valentine's Day is for everyone, but particularly for children. And this year, McDonald's has colorful valentines embossed with kids' favorite McDonaldland characters. You can get them at participating McDonald's while supplies last.
You deserve a break today at McDonald's.
Mean to say if they opened a crock of Ocolee How, you wouldn't say mahalo? Oh, yeah, I guess I would in that case. That's what I said in the first place. Quit arguing.
The following is an important message from the Anchorage District Office of the Internal Revenue Service.
Aking Lutilo Alhagumi 1973 federal income tax ang imirinakaji. Talikok tax ang akilitil Gufti Alhagumi 1973 federal income tax ang imirinakaji. Abjugufti kikok doklornaraji lang distance sarloki operate waklo apluku number rawanika. Seen 3700. Doklokofti kikok lita akilit chikaid. Dawamok abtahkaji kasadun kiuchikaiji.
And a sincere mahalo to you, daughter. That's not the same language. Peter Nero played Got to Be There. Cycles by Tom Vaughan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a simulated recording of the Saberjet. Happy, relaxed people, excellent service, and that great steak sandwich. That's the Alaska Saberjet restaurant on 4th Avenue at Gamble. The Alaska Saberjet is now under new management, and the interior decor is all new. But the best of the old Saberjet is still there, too. That great steak sandwich. A delicious ribeye on toast served with a baked potato and a fresh tossed salad. Come visit the new Alaska Saberjet, 4th Avenue at Gamble.
Heart Radio today is being kind to Donna Tempest of Anchorage. A child with a name like that ought to feel right at home on the windiest program north of the Williwaw country. Thank you.
Nerland's Warehouse Store has finally received their Snow White bedroom group. This open stock bedroom group is Nerland's most popular and is now specially priced for you. Snow White is a group of carefully crafted, coordinated chests, hutch tops, dressers, desks, and headboards. These pieces are designed to give the most usable space possible in a limited area. All tops are surfaced with micarta protective finishes, resist scratching, marring, and scuffing. To clean, just wipe off with a damp cloth. All pieces have flush ends so that they may be butted together to form a continuous surface. Take a look at the construction of Snow White center glide drawers with dovetailed joints and full dust covers. All add up to years of service. Go into Nerland's Warehouse Store and see all the great pieces and features that make Snow White Nerland's most popular bedroom group. Nerland's Warehouse Store, 6637 Arctic Spur Road.
September Song by George Shearing, the Four Score Pianos with Song of Joy, Love Walked In by Toots Thielemans.
Cut Rate Kid under the windmill on Fireweed has a terrific buy on Miller's Premium Beer. 12-ounce cans for $3.99 a case, a regular $7 value.
This is the Good Music Station, KHAR AM and KHAR FM Stereo, Anchorage.
Well, the temperature is now hovering between 27 and 28. I had a girlfriend that hovered there once for about, 10 years. Is that so?
The Sheffield House at 3rd and Barrow has a menu that is just bursting with taste-tempting ideas for your dining pleasure. If you're tired of the humdrum, try the Sheffield House. They have some dishes that are sure to please your bored appetite. Try beef Wellington served with asparagus hollandaise and baked potato. At the Sheffield House, you'll find a carefully selected variety of continental favorites gathered from around the world and brought to Anchorage for your dining delight. The Sheffield House also offers such continental taste tempters as veal scallopini, pepper steak, or sweetbreads financières. Discover a whole new world of dining pleasure at the Sheffield House, 3rd and Barrow, where you are the most important person in the world.
Wish them fellas had stopped to rehearse before they dragged their fiddles in here.
Will you quit interrupting? We heard Thunderball by Percy Faith, the Sunset Strings with On a Clear Day, Lou Davies' Strange Interlude. And there were no fiddles featured in that arrangement at all.
No wonder.
What do you mean? No one? What?
One man in town who works hard for you. He's your dealer. He's number one. When you're happy, he's happy too. He's your dealer. He's number one.
At Friendly Ford, we suggest you don't rush into anything, especially the changing of the style of your family's transportation. Our 1974 Ford Galaxy combines three important factors: comfort, safety, and economy. Road tested at over 18 miles per gallon. Isn't your family worth it?
He's your dealer. He's number one.
Friendly Ford at 5th and Gamble.
Seem like much nicer desks than the normal metal furniture that you see in most offices, and we really like the black vinyl tops. They're more of an executive type desk, I think, than a...
Have you ever stopped to consider how important it is to have fine furnishings in your office?
Very nice, and they're a lot.
Not only does it make a favorable impression on clients and customers, it can do wonders for the morale of your employees. When your secretary does her best for you, she deserves the best working equipment.
And fine quality furniture is not just good-looking furniture. It's furniture designed for the best possible use of the work area.
Not have it disturbed.
At Yukon Office Supply, we feel that good craftsmanship and good workmanship go hand in hand. See all the fine quality office furnishings at Yukon Office Supply, 15th and Gamble.
Alaska Mutual makes us feel important as employees, and we enjoy working here.
Ferrante and Tyker, and Days of Wine and Roses in MacArthur Park by Doc Severinsen.
Hello. Your spare time can be the brightest hours of all for a growing girl who needs someone to look up to. Helping a young person grow up in the right way is the best investment you can make in your own future. Why not call the Big Sisters office in your area and get growing while the growing's good? I'm Dr. Joyce Brothers on behalf of Big Sisters of America, who are looking for women with time and love to spare.
Well, suppose somebody does spring with a crock of Okoli Howe. What do you say then? Mahalo, amigo?
That's 2 languages.
Well, you're seeing double at the time.
I am not.
Toyota has moved. It's grand opening week at Universal Motors, now in a convenient new location at 5th and Ingra. In the year of the small car, Toyota offers 23 new models of small cars and trucks to help you make the move to small without sacrificing luxury or driving pleasure. Universal Motors deals exclusively in Toyotas. Sporty Toyotas, 4-wheel drive Toyotas, tough little pickups, luxury Toyotas, family wagons. And now on display at Universal Motors, the brand new Chinook camper. Universal Motors Building is the most modern car dealership in Alaska, with expanded maintenance facilities, a fully stocked parts and service department, and beautiful new showroom, now located at 5th and Ingra. Come test drive a Toyota. It's the most fun you can have sitting down.
This is the year of the small car. Toyota has more for you.
We heard Noche de Ronda by the Sonora Strings, Herbie Green with Watch What Happens, Catch a Falling Star by Mantovani.
Cut Rate Kid under the windmill on Fireweed now has Miller's Premium Beer, a $7 value for just $3.99 a case in 12-ounce cans.
Heart Radio today is being kind to Donna Tempest of Anchorage.
Serving the North's largest metropolitan area, this is KHAR AM and KHAR FM stereo, Anchorage.
The first portion of the noon news is being brought to you by the new Alaska Camera Cache, 528 West 5th Avenue.
Good afternoon. At 12 noon, it's 30 degrees in Anchorage. This is Bill Blessington. Just in from Berkeley, California, the mysterious Symbionese Liberation Army claims in a letter to a radio station that it kidnapped newspaper heiress Patricia Hearst, and it says it is holding her in protective custody. The report comes from the FBI and radio station KPFA in Berkeley, California. The Symbionese Liberation Army has already been linked to the assassination of a black school district superintendent in Oakland, California. Secretary of the Army Robert Calloway told reporters this morning that the Alaskan Army Command at Fort Richardson is being phased out as part of an Army-wide effort to streamline command channels. Calloway explained the move to Heart Radio.
It has to do with the so-called tooth-to-tail ratio of more people in the fighting part of the Army and less in the support part of the Army. It's one that I think worldwide will make a lot of sense. It won't have a major economic impact on Alaska. We're talking about right now worldwide some 6,000 spaces being eliminated, and a very small part of that will be in Alaska. The exact numbers I can't tell you at this time.
The Secretary of the Army did say later, however, that the Alaskan move will affect fewer than 400 persons. Callaway also said he'll make the final decision on leasing the north post of Fort Wainwright to pipeline builders. He said the leasing proposal came as a result of congressional refusal to allow the Army to divest itself of the unused base.
A legal definition of death continues to wait for final.
The suggestion was strongly made to me at that time that instead of letting this valuable property be wasted, that we should consider making it available to those who come in to construct the pipeline. Now, all we've done so far is just to put out sort of an announcement saying that if you want to lease this, here's what's here and what proposals do you have for us. No decision has been made to lease to anyone. And I want to be particularly clear that nobody will have a priority over anyone else. It will be the kind of thing where all interested parties can bid on an equal basis. The main concern that the governor and the congressman that I've talked to have had is that the private citizens not be competed with on an unfair basis by a military establishment not paying taxes, that kind of thing, whereas the private citizens do. We haven't looked into that yet, but I can assure you we would look into that very carefully, and we'd be very careful not to in any way unfairly harm the opportunities the private citizens would have there.
Final action on a legal and medical definition of death has been postponed until Monday by the state Senate. The bill was passed last year by the House and endorsed by the Alaska Medical Association. Under the bill, death would occur when there is no spontaneous respiratory or cardiac functions, or when there's no spontaneous brain functions. The bill was adopted yesterday, but held on a request of Republican Jess Harris, who is attending a hearing in Seattle today. The measure will not go to Governor Egan for signing before Monday. In other legislative action, the House adopted a bill to grant administrative leave to public employees involved in wage negotiations. The first indications from independent truckers and their spokesman after announcement of a tentative agreement to settle their 8-day strike is that they will not accept the agreement. The Washington settlement, denounced by a number of leading spokesmen for the truckers, provides for guaranteed diesel fuel supplies and a surcharge on freight rates. Details of the settlement are to be announced in Washington shortly, but most spokesmen who have been reached in an AP spot check said the agreement was too little, too late. An independent driver in Arkansas said he had contacted friends across the state, and the sentiment was, this is a bunch of hogwash. The White House said it expects the agreement worked out today will settle the strike by independent truckers, but Deputy News Secretary Gerald Warren also said an interdepartmental task force had developed what he termed firm contingency plans to keep the highways open. Asked if this meant federal troops might be called to duty, Warren declined to comment, but he confirmed that the Defense Department was represented on the task force. Vice President Gerald Ford told a Republican women's group that if the GOP sells the accomplishments of President Nixon, it can, in Ford's words, surprise those who say we are going to lose in 1974. Ford said Republicans should be proud of a great president instead of downhearted, discouraged, pessimistic, and unhappy. The vice president appeared with President Nixon's wife and daughter at an overflow meeting of the Republican Women's National Forum in Washington. Earlier in the day, Ford told a news conference President Nixon has informed him the White House is actively considering release to the public some of the key Watergate recordings and documents. The White House confirmed such a move is under consideration, but gave no indication of when or what material might be released. The White House says President Nixon will take his postponed 1973 physical checkup rather soon. No date was given for the checkup, which was originally scheduled for last December. President Nixon submitted a complicated international economic report to Congress today. He urged Congress to reduce trade barriers. Nixon said U.S. trade with communist countries increased dramatically since 1971, from $600 million to more than $3 billion. The report also said the nation's oil import bill will increase almost threefold this year.